Hey everyone, this is John from EastCoastArmory.com. I'm here today with a project start video for this 1/6 scale Armortek Early Production German Tiger 1. The model that you see here is being built for commission and belongs to a private collector. Just like I mentioned in my other commission build videos, I often take on commission build projects from vehicles ranging from 1/35 scale all the way up to 1/6 scale. As for availability and pricing information, that would be best by contacting me through the email address listed below, which is info@eastcoastarmory.com. For the model's base starter kit, I will be using a Armortek 2015 release Early Tiger 1. At the time of this video, this kit here is brand new and are just starting to make their way to their builders as well as their customers. What's interesting about this version of the Tiger 1 is that this is only the second time Armortek has produced this version of the Tiger. The last time Armortek produced a early production or an early pattern Tiger 1 was back in 2004 or 2005. As for the kit information itself, in case anyone is unaware, Armortek is a UK-based model company. Their range of products are 1/6 scale, radio-controlled tanks. What makes their tank kits interesting is that, unlike the other manufacturers, Armortek kits are designed from the get-go to be radio-controlled as opposed to being static, and are made out of scale thickness aluminum and steel plates. This video here is going to be part of a build series in which I will be building the model and adding my own custom details as well as functions, in addition to the stock Armortek offerings. What's also unique is that this model here, being the current version of the Tiger 1 that was just released, has several key differences from their earlier patterns of Tiger 1s that were released a number of years ago. And what's even more interesting is that not only do I have here their latest Tiger 1 being built alongside is actually a Tiger 1 from the first early production batch from the early 2000s. So it'll be very interesting as the build goes on to compare and contrast these two vehicles. When Armortek ships their kits new in boxes, this is how they come. Typically you receive one very large box there, which typically contains the main hull panels, and then you have several smaller boxes containing the suspension as well as all the other components. These packages here are still directly fresh from England, and I will crack them open and review them in this video. To open up the package, I'll utilize my handy dandy switchblade, and we'll start with this top box here. Once the box is cracked open, this is what they look like on the inside. You have a packing slip, and looks like this box here is that of the running gear. You go your road wheels. As you see, they're all CNC aluminum. And this here are your bag of rubber tires, which of course, this being an early pattern Tiger, is correct. Probably inside this box here you have track links, judging by the weight, as well as other fittings for the sprockets and as well as idlers. This box here appears to have the gun barrel, tow cables, as well as other turret fittings. This here is obviously components for the early style drum copula. As well as some other parts for the upper deck and hull. These here are the shields for the exhaust. Again, as the build progresses, I'll go over more into these details in further examination. So far, as for quality of the kit, it's standard Armortek, which, needless to say, is quite good. Here we're starting to get into some of the actual hull components. This here is the front flashes plate. As you can see, note the thickness of the steel of the aluminum alloy plate. This would be the scale thickness of the real Tiger 1. Looks like I was wrong with the run of your package where I said there was the track links inside. Track links are actually in this box here. Here go the track links. As you can see, they are packaged in bags of 5 links apiece. This same feature was found on the late production Tiger 1, which I recently finished from them. As you can see, the tracks are the early pattern, which is typical for all the Armortek tanks, as they all utilize the early pattern tracks pattern. Moving our way to the last package, and also, most notably, the largest. This box here is more than likely going to contain that of the hull components. Now, before I go any further, a lot of people are going to be wondering, if this is a radio control tank, where are all the electronics as well as the motors? Don't they come with the kit? The answer is no. The radio control packages do not come with the model. Armortek vehicles, their kits, come as just the tank, and then the machinery packages are purchased separately. The option packs themselves are going to be coming en route, and they should be in as the build progresses. Starting the box, or the unboxing I should say. This guy here is obviously the upper deck. You see through the bubble wrap where the turret goes. And just like on their late production Tiger that I finished, the upper and lower plates as well as the sponsons are made out of aluminum alloy as opposed to steel, which were used on the 2003 or 2004 pattern of the Armortek Tiger 1. This envelope here has photo etch in it, which is definitely a nice touch and was not included with the older style tanks. As you can see, the photo etch here looks just like a bigger version, what you would see in 1/35 scale. These grill meshworks are fantastic, and I did use them on the last build, and highly recommend them for their quality. Digging on through, this here is the turret. As you can see, just like the real Tiger 1, it is made out of a single piece of rolled plate. Now, this is different from the earlier versions that were released by Armortek in that those versions of the Tiger utilize an all-cast aluminum turret. In fact, the two turrets are over here, compared to each other. This one here is from the Tiger 131 release that just came out. And this version here is the older 2004-2005 pattern Tiger. As you can see, solid one-piece cast aluminum compared to rolled multi-piece aluminum alloy plate. Digging through the box takes us to some literature. Here we have a certificate of authenticity with the actual number of the vehicle. This one here is number 31. As well as the instructions, obviously, very, very handy to have. Also supplied is this very attractive looking booklet. And if this is what I think it is, it possibly are photographs and a brief history of the actual Bovington 131 Tiger, which is, of course, the only running Tiger 1 left in the world. As you can see, very handsome photography, very well orchestrated. Definitely a fantastic builder's aid for anyone who's building one of these models. Going through further, takes us to, these are here the turret rings. Turret roof and turret bottom pan. More components. And here go the actual, start getting into the actual panels of the kit. These here are the sponsons that have their integrated JD ribs pre-installed or pre-formed into the plate, which is a feature that was found on their late production Tiger. Aluminum alloy bottom pan. Lower hull side plates. That are individualized and dated. And this, without any more saying, is the rear plate. One nice feature on this particular one is the rough, probably water jet or laser cut lines that replicate almost perfectly the actual torch cut lines, which would be found on the real plates. Very nice feature indeed. And finally, getting to the bottom of the box, takes us to the upper hull side plates. Just like with all Armortek tanks, or Armortek Tiger 1s, they have their appropriate angles for these components here. And here goes the tank's hull, now assembled. Currently, all of the fasteners are mounted on as per the kit. There are no mods that have been made to this portion of the model at this point. The only addition that I made was that the actual fasteners themselves have small lock washers that have been added to them. Like I always mention on my Armortek builds, this is something that I do extra, as it makes the fastener stay onto the tank in a more secure fashion. In addition to the lock washers, every fastener that you see mounted on to this model here is secured on with red strong Loctite. With the combination of the two, should keep the fasteners in place and prevent them from getting loose as the model ages, or even with the rigors of radio controlled use. As for the way the hull panels are, they are assembled in the exact same way that Armortek used for their last late production Tiger 1, which utilizes more bent L brackets, which are bolted together, than on their earlier versions, which utilize direct screws and threaded panels in order to assemble the parts. One modification that I already did make, though, was on the lower hull panels. I replaced the large hex bolts with that of countersunk fasteners. This is a common trait that I do on these Armortek Tiger 1s. As the way the kit is designed, you will have these large fasteners protruding from this plate. On the real Tiger 1, this would be welded, and these fasteners would not be present. To add the countersinks, I simply used a countersink bit on a drill, drilled out the panel, and then replaced the hex bolts with countersunk fasteners of the same thread pattern and the same size. It was a direct swap replacement, and once added, retains the rigidity of the plate, and now allows me to perform body work, which will be done shortly after filming this video. The same procedure was done on the rear panel as well. Before I go ahead and wrap up the video, I'm going to go ahead and take a moment to describe the actual purchasing of one of these kits. The reason why is because I frequently receive emails as well as getting comments in the comment section of my Armortek build videos from people who are interested in obtaining one of these kits for themselves. First, Armortek is not like Tamiya or Henlong or any other companies in which they are constantly producing kits of the same type and the pieces are in horizontal production. Armortek being a smaller time outfit or a smaller scale outfit, they release their kits in limited production batches. These production batches range from about 25 to about 75 units. The kits are first announced by the company, and when they announce the kit, they accept pre-orders. Once all of the kits that they have pre-ordered out are sold, the kit is no longer available, and then the kits that were pre-ordered are then going into production. Once the kits and the components are all machined and all ready to go, they get shipped here to customers, to which then another model is then announced for pre-order, either a new production kit or, in this case, some kind of a re-release. In addition to the pre-order method that I just described, Armortek on their community forum have a special section which is intended solely for sale or wanted. It is on this portion on the forum in which Armortek customers who have either the full kit or the partially or full assembled versions of their models are interested in selling them off. It is over here where obtaining either a partially built kit or a totally virgin kit of any certain type can be acquired. It is with this method that someone can actually obtain one of the older or more limited release kits that Armortek have produced in their many years of being in operation. And that concludes this project start video for this 1/6 scale Armortek radio controlled German Early Production Tiger 1. If you like this video, stop by and like us on Facebook, and don't forget to check out eastcoastarmory.com for more 1/6 and 1/16 scale builds and detail components. Thank you.